And The Guardian carries a picture of a frosty sea. Lots of people have been loving the cold weather. I know lots of people have been hating it, but it has been very picturesque in many parts of the country. However, things are getting milder, as Carol has been telling us.
Hello there, you'll be pleased to hear this really cold spell of weather is at an end. Now, if I show you the temperature anomaly chart, anytime you see oranges and reds, that's temperatures above average. So it's getting really mild for Scotland and Northern Ireland, temperatures jumping up, the snow will be melting. For England and Wales, temperatures generally getting back to where they should be for the middle of January.
This morning there's a real difference in temperatures. At the moment it's 12 degrees in Inverness, but at Luton Airport it's only 1 degree. Now, as we go through the rest of this week, it's not going to be as cold as it was last week. Much milder conditions. It will be mostly dry. At times we've got weak weather fronts crossing us, and in the south we're prone to some fog patches and also a touch of frost at times.
Good morning. It is still quite a chilly start to the day, but the temperature very much less cold than it has been.
Certainly not as cold as it was last week for most of us. Good morning, everyone. But this morning, it still is cold across parts of the south and the east. Good morning, everyone. It certainly is not as cold as it was last week as we go through this week, although in the southeast this morning, it was a cold start.
Hi, Ben. Well, you probably noticed when you stepped outside this morning, there's a change coming. What a difference for some, but not for all. Look at this. Highland Scotland this morning at 6 o'clock, temperatures were 14 degrees. It was still below freezing just to the west of London, and we're going to keep the cold air for another day at least here. But the milder theme is going to win out because of this southerly wind that's driving the milder air across the country.
Hello again. Well, I hope you had a lovely start to the week. Look at this photo. It's just the epitome of winter, isn't it? So stunning. Now, for this week, it's going to be mostly dry, maybe a spot of drizzle tomorrow. It's going to be less chilly, but not warm. And we've got a lot more cloud moving in and maybe some fog as well. In terms of our temperatures, they start to come up a little bit midweek, but they just then tail off again as we head on into the weekend.
A big contrast in weather across the UK today. Across the western side of Scotland, a lot of low cloud, outbreaks of rain, but it was very mild as well. Temperatures in Achnagar got up to 14 degrees Celsius today, in sharp contrast to the 3 degrees Celsius that we had in Fylingdales, North Yorkshire. The cold air that we had around last week hasn't quite cleared away from southern and eastern areas of the UK. And coupled with that, we've actually still got a lot of snow on the ground across the North Yorks. So when the winds blow across that really does limit the temperatures. So that's why we've just had 3 today across parts of North Yorkshire.
And thankfully, after the weekend, temperatures nudging up a little bit.
Yeah, it was really cold. Well, it's been cold for many days now, Riz, but yes, a change is on the way to some less cold conditions. That's the good news. I say less cold, but today was very cold, wasn't it? We had some good spells of sunshine around too, though. This was a scene captured by one of our weather watchers in Ealing, but there was a lot of cloud around as well. So if you didn't catch some of that sunshine, well, it was quite cloudy and it remains so.
And it was, obvious statement, incredibly cold this weekend, wasn't it?
I loved it though.
Me too.
Just so beautiful. You wake out, look out the window, Narnia.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning.
And some of us, actually, we saw our coldest night of the year for 15 years on Friday night. 15 years, just trying to think about that. These were the kind of values that we were looking at their coldest. Parts of Scotland, Altnahara, minus 18.9. I mean, that is nuts if you think about it. And actually, let's try and put that in a little bit more context. We've had the most unbelievable contrast in temperatures. These values here in blue were recorded at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. And these values here were recorded at 8 o'clock this morning. Now, bearing in mind, these weren't the peak, these green temperatures here, they weren't the warmest temperatures that we had today. Altnahara has saw temperatures rising up to around 11 degrees. And that makes it a 30-degree shift in temperatures in just over 48 hours. I find that absolutely unbelievable. Let's have a look at what's going on. This is very exciting for weatherbods, you have to remember. Now, this is the picture at the moment. We've got high pressure sitting out to the east, low pressure to the west, and the warming temperatures are down to the fact that we're now getting the winds in from a very warm mid-Atlantic southwesterly direction rather than from the cold north. And if we jump ahead to the end of the week, it really is a matter of spot the difference. We've still got the high towards the east, we've still got low towards the west, we've still got this relatively mild airflow, and that means just for the here and now at least, for the next 5 to 10 days at least, we've got temperatures which are around, or even, can you believe, above the seasonal average. Let's have a look now at the detail. I have to apologise for my excitement. I do find this incredibly exciting. That kind of temperature shift is not something you see very often. Let's get the detail then for the next few days. And as you can see for this week, it is, of course, turning less cold, largely cloudy and mostly dry. A really quiet week of weather, in fact. We do have the risk of fog in the south as those winds fall light. The potential for a weather warning for that in place is just worth bearing in mind. This is above what we would normally expect to see in January. Just be calm, Rebecca. It's only temperatures. Now, looking ahead to the next few days, it is a very static sort of picture. And as I say, don't be too encouraged by this. This is actually really just brightness rather than sunny spells. So you might squeeze some sunshine in places. Temperatures slowly tailing off, but really we're back to January as usual. So plenty to talk about with the weather. Certainly over the last few days, we've had some really eye-catching sort of things going on. But then I think we are moving into a calmer period. And I have to say, I'm going to rather miss the really extreme stuff.
And calm.
And calm.
And calm. Thank you.